Hi, I'm Beverly BAnov Brown. Most of my friends, family, and clients refer to me as Bev, so I hope you'll think of me as Bev as well. What part of us has gotten a really bad rap lately? Well, it might surprise you, but the ego, that part of us that often seems to sabotage us with thoughts of anger, jealousy, envy, vengefulness, unforgiveness, harsh judgment. That part of us that sometimes says, that person's no good, get him or her out of your life, don't even give them a second thought or a second chance, just get them out. They don't do things the way I want them to, let them be gone. Well, sometimes that's something you need to do for that period of time. And sometimes there's another way to see it. And sometimes what we really need to do is realize it's an opportunity to look and say, what is the trigger? What is the fear that that person is bringing up in us that we need to look at as a mirror of what's going on in ourselves? In other words, the shadow side of us that Jung used to refer to. He said, whatever part of us we disallow, and I'm paraphrasing now, tends to become splintered off and becomes increasingly more primitive. So what does that really mean? That means EGO. It's usually used now as easing God out. So what is envy? What is jealousy? What is unforgiveness really? It's fear. It's just another manifestation of fear. And when we have it, we can be pretty sure that we're afraid we're losing something that we want, someone we want, something we feel very territorial about, an opportunity. Perhaps it's a job. Perhaps it's a relationship. Perhaps it's a place that we're afraid we're going to lose our pecking order with. It can take so many different forms. Or perhaps somebody, in the case of envy, is showing us something that we really want to manifest in our lives and either hasn't manifested yet or we had it and we lost it. We're complex beings, we really are. And yet life can be fairly simple if we allow ourselves not to resist our feelings. The happy feelings like contentment, joy, inner peace, love, they're easy to enjoy. They're easy to sit with and run with. But the other ones, the ones that we judge as harsh and dark, they're not so easy. The thing about the ego is that, like everything else, it is part of God too. And it has a job it feels it needs to do. It's a more primitive part of us, I believe, that is still trying to keep us alive, trying to keep us safe. And so when it warns you, get that person as far away as you can, well, that is a fearful part of you expressing. It's not necessarily the healthy adult part of you. It's usually a much younger part of you that really got ideas at a very early age about life, about safety. And if you've been abused in any way, and most of us have at one time or another, or you've had trauma, coming out of the birth canal, most people already have been somewhat traumatized. That inner voice, that ego self, can be very damning. So what I'm asking you to do, the Golden Nugget I hope you can take away from our time together today, is that even though that voice can be very strong and very adamant even, it's not necessarily, if you identify that it is a fearful, fear-based thought, it's not necessarily in your best interest to follow it. How about saying, not resisting it or trying to banish it, because that just creates more friction ultimately. How about saying, as the Native American traditions do, hello, old friend, you've come to give me a gift. What is it? And then be still for a moment, take a few deep breaths, and ask again, and wait, and listen to the answer. And before you react, let yourself have time to hear the inner guidance, get the joy of the insight that's about to come forth, Maybe do a little journaling about it, or maybe just sit and continue to breathe. Or maybe say to the person that you're about to exclude from your life, and maybe do some hurting too, inadvertently. What do I really feel about this? How would love act in this situation? How would love, not fear, but love, respond? So there's the difference between reacting and responding. The ego reacts. The loving, healthy part of us, the adult, healthy part of us, responds in a loving and an assertive manner, which expresses our needs, sets healthy boundaries, and works so much better for everyone involved. It's been wonderful to have this time with you today. Until next time, I hope that whatever has been shared will contribute to your understanding of your own beauty, your own divinity, and allow you to bless even the ego thoughts when they come up, because the truth is, even they are of the divine.